Irena is very mm, punctual. I don't know how it in English.
Oh, well, we're stuck because I don't know either. And so then what you would do is when you're in this kind of a situation, when you're speaking to an English speaker who doesn't know any Russian, which is exactly the situation, you have to think of another way to say it. And so this is always a challenge. And so while you're thinking, I'm going to tell you a story about when I figured this out. I was a young person on one of my first trips to France, and I spoke quite good French, but there were lots of words that I didn't know. I had a bottle of wine, and I did not have a corkscrew, something to take the cork out of the wine bottle. So I did not have a way to open the bottle of wine. And I did not know what store might sell that. And so that was my dilemma. How do you choose? How do you explain what it is you need?
You see, Professor Martin, I don't know what I hardly hear. Maybe there is. Just a minute, maybe. So.
Well, the resource that you have that I didn't have all those years ago was to try looking it up online.
I don't know how we understand each other exactly. How I understand you. I understand only half of your speech.
Well, this is normal. You will be glad to know that.
I will be glad to know that I understand.
That is normal. It is normal.
Could you write some words?
Yes, of course.
Okay, words.
It's normal to understand only
I think
part.
it isn't normal because I hear you during about half year, but I have no progress.
Well, it's let's see. This is called the problem.
This is I don't have a word.
Okay, this is a general problem when you're working between languages. It's called the problem of negotiating.
Negotiate. How it sound?
Negotiating.
Negotiating.
Yes. And so that is trying to come to an agreement.
And to come to
an agreement.
Agreement. I don't know what does mean agreement. Can you write it, please? Agreement. Oh, okay.
And so you are doing that. You are negotiating meaning.
Uh-huh.
So when you don't understand, when you don't understand, try rephrasing. Say what part you
I'm sorry,
understand.
rephrasing, it's ask another. I don't say what part. What does mean rephrasing?
Rephrasing is saying the same thing another way.
Uh-huh, okay.
And then ask for confirmation.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
That's, this is a process that I'm talking about to come to understanding. Or something else that you are good at is asking about what you don't understand.
Something else that asking about.
You are good at this. You are good at this, Constantine.
You, I understand almost all your phrases because you write it.
Yes, and for me, that is one of the benefits of being able to hear each other and confirm in writing.
Sorry, could you repeat last phrase, please?
That's the benefit.
Benefit. It's understood.
Being able to hear and read. It's one of the advantages that we have over a normal classroom. So I have been thinking a lot about you this week and your interest in becoming a teacher of English and German. And I think it's a great idea. And I hope that you consider it.
I hope you
consider it.
Consider it.
Yes.
It was my dream during many years, but I have no opportunity to realize it because I have no time. I have little children, and today I have this opportunity because my children are adult. They are almost independent,
Yes.
and I have enough money for my education.
Now you can do what you want.
Actually, it isn't very expensive in Russia, but it requires some money.
Yes, I'm sure. So would you have difficulty attracting students?
Attracting
students, getting students.
I can't catch your phrase.
Would you have difficulty getting students?
To enter an institute, you mean? What does mean getting?
Getting
being students or
finding students.
Finding students. No, I can't get this phrase. Maybe.
So, where would you teach?
Sorry?
Where would you teach?
I hope to move in a small town after retiring, and I hope that I get a place of teacher in the school.
And so that that sounds like a very pleasurable thing to me. That sounds nice.
Okay, thanks. Maybe I'll success. How to say in English? I'll manage it, maybe.
Yes, that would do it.
I hope I manage it. Yes?
Yes, either one is fine. Or we might say, I hope I can do it.
I hope I can do it.
Yes. So, do you have to have some kind of teaching certificate?
Teaching certificate? No, I should pass the course of our institute. Then I should pass the exam for this certificate. And
passing the exam.
Yes, and today in our country is the very sad situation. There are no enough teachers, especially in villages and in province, in small towns. And I think my diploma of engineer, I have such diploma, will be enough maybe for teaching. Because 30 years ago I graduated from Technical Institute, and I think that my diploma should be enough for teaching. But maybe I should pass the exam.
Well,
it's a problem of future.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I'm confident you will pass it.
I'm Please write it.
I'm confident you will.
I should to confirm you're confident.
So, do your sons live at home with you?
Not at all. We separated this. No, we should separate this summer. But today they are with me. Yes, they live with us.
So they will move out this summer on their own.
Yes, I hope so.
I have a grandson.
I
have a grandson. My daughter. I have a grandson.
I know. This.
Who wants to be a rock star?
You know.
Yes.
And we know that he is a rock fan.
Yes.
And a specialist in culture, in musical culture.
Yes. He likes heavy metal music.
Mm-hmm.
And he.
How old he is?
He is 22. And last August he moved out.
He lives alone?
He lives alone.
He lives alone, and he isn't married?
Not married. And he lives an hour away.
He lives in?
He lives an hour away. Near the university he attends.
How many people live in your city or in your town?
In my town, in Des Moines?
In Des Moines, yes.
I think about 400,000.
40,000?
400,000.
Oh.
It's a small city.
400,000, it's small city?
Yes.
I think it's proper city.
It's the largest city in Iowa.
When I discussed about education in USA with my American friend, name is Barbara. She is a student in Iowa City. She said that in her town live about 700 only. Oh, no. Yes, 70,000 people.
70,000, yes. It's smaller. So she's in Iowa City. I thought she was in Ames.
There are only university and some the most part of the city is a university and university campus.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Iowa City is a university town.
Mm-hmm. And Des Moines, it is an industrial town or city. Is it industrial city?
No, not really. It's the state capital. So the seat of government and so there are lots of government offices.
The seat, it is a place where government, I don't know.
Where the state government is located. Then there's only one kind of small university. It's where I have taught. Drake University. It's a small private university with 5,000 students. And the main business in Des Moines is agricultural research.
Research?
Yeah. The big agribusinesses.
The people of Des Moines, town of Des Moines, are scientists, agricultural scientists.
Yeah. So let's see, they're big grain companies, like what's the name of them? Principal. Let me think. Or Monsanto.
I don't realize they are scientists or they are businessmen. They trade or they make a research, a scientific research.
Okay, scientists who work for big business. So, for example, they have developed a hybrid grains that are pest resistant. And let's see. And that is mainly corn. Corn, soybeans, and hogs and cattle are the main products. And besides that, there's also big insurance.
What does mean pest?
Pest, bugs.
Pest resistance. Uh-huh.
So the scientists do research to make better kinds of corn and also wheat.
Sorry?
The scientists have worked to develop better corn and wheat.
Uh-huh.
There's also big insurance. Drake University is famous for actuarial science.
Uh-huh.
That's important for insurance.
Actuarial, I don't know this word.
Yeah, it's a hard word. I don't know either very well. It's data analysis. So they make decisions to help insurance decisions to help insurance companies make good investments, I think. But I'm not so clear.
Most of people work in Drake University, or there are some research institutes?
Some of the work is done at Drake University. Then there's Iowa State University in Ames, and that is the ag school. Is it? They are a center for agricultural.
It's the agricultural school.
Yes. And they're a center for agricultural research. They also, let's see, they do other research as well, like medical
Not
research.
only agricultural, yes?
Like medical research, they do. Ames is famous for its anthrax studies. Anthrax.
Anthrax studies, Ames.
Is a deadly poison. And right about 9/11 in 2001, there was a series of anthrax poisons. A few people died.
Anthrax. white powder.
Yes.
I remember that they sent the envelope with white powder.
That's exactly right.
It was anthrax.
Yes. Yes. And Ames was
I'm sorry, anthrax, maybe it is Siberian, I forget that, the Siberian madness, maybe.
Oh, that sounds right. It's originally a cattle disease, I think. So this is largely a farming area, and that's why there are no large towns. It's not uncommon. I think there are places in Iowa that would qualify for your word, village. There are a lot of small towns in Iowa. Some don't even have a post office. They're too small.
And how many people live in such towns where there are no post office even?
Let's see, there might only be 60 to 80 people.
But how you separate the village and town?
Let's see, they shop in Des Moines. And they don't have good medical support. It's the same problem that I think you were talking about. Maybe the degree is difficult, but living in a small town means that it's harder to live. So they're going to grow their own vegetables in the summertime, and they're going to can them so that they have a basic food supply that they grow themselves. And they get in their big trucks and they drive to Des Moines or maybe a slightly larger town. They're going to have a post office box there where they get their mail. They're going to do their shopping there and see the doctor if it's not an emergency.
But why do you name it town? Maybe it's village.
Well,
how to separate it?
Village seems like a British word to me.
Seems like?
It seems like, for me, I think it's a British word. In Britain, they have villages. We have small towns. So I think, they say that America, the United States, and Britain are separated by a common language.
In Russia we have city, it's big town. Towns, it's small towns, center of districts. City, it's maybe a center of region, such as Moscow, Tula, Tver, Ryazan. It's a city when live about million people, and in every region there are some districts, and the center of these districts, there are district center, small town about 100 people, 100,000 people and less.
Oh, 100,000 people. Oh, that's a small town. We have much smaller towns than that. I think we have
maybe I am wrong, because I tell you about my experience in Moscow region.
So
Moscow
you're not
region,
wrong.
I?
You are not wrong. Your experience is different than mine.
Maybe in, for example, maybe in Omsk region, there are towns when live about 5,000 people, maybe less. But in Moscow region, a small town is about 100,000, maybe 70,000. And
let's see, 70,000 people. That would be for us a small town. I went to high school in a town of 40,000 people. There was only one high school.
When I think that in our 30,000 cities, there are no proper institutes. Maybe there are no, I don't know, the counterpart of our word technicum. We name it colleges, but it isn't colleges in your mind. It's
more in, maybe it's more in the German sense.
Sorry?
Maybe college more in the German sense. In France, anyway, a collège is a secondary school, and in Spain, a colegio is a secondary school.
Maybe so. Maybe it's a part of, for example, pupils who finished 8 years of school, of comprehensive school. They enter to colleges, and they finished comprehensive program, and they receive the technical education. It's for not engineers, it's less than engineers. I forget. I know this word, but I forget it.
Oh, this happens to me.
There are senior staff at organization, and not senior. How it sound in English? I don't know. So in a small college, there are in a small town there are no big institute. Only maybe colleges or, for example, school for teacher for teacher of primary school, because teacher of secondary school should learn in institutes and university. They should have a diploma.
And we would call that a normal school. It's a teacher's college. I think.
No. Normal school?
Okay, normal has a special meaning here. I should capitalize it probably.
Normal school. It's in the United States?
Yes.
Normal school.
That would be a special college for teachers. But now we don't have them so much.
Sorry,
we don't have them so much. They are not as common as they once were.
And have your teachers pedagogical education, especially pedagogical education, or only for their subjects?
Everybody has a general background. Who wants to be a teacher? Everyone has a general background, and also 2 fields of specialization. That's typical. There is, I'm going to tell you how it is at Drake. People who go to Drake University can get a graduate school, a graduate diploma, a master's degree in education. At Drake, in the School of Education, you choose to get an elementary education certificate or a secondary ed certificate. They have different training.
Different?
Yes. Elementary teachers, grades 1 through 6 or 8, I'm not sure, study early childhood development. And everyone has to do an internship.
Do an
internship.
Internship, I don't know what.
That's an important word. They have to get practical classroom experience, under the supervision of an experienced teacher. And so everyone does supervised, it's called student teaching. We also, the problems that you mentioned about living in a village are the same problems that I see developing here in our small towns. And I thought a lot about that this week. It is hard to get teachers to live in a small town. So the town where I went to elementary school is in the mountains.
Sorry?
The town where I went to elementary school is in the mountains in eastern Oregon. In the northwest. The town has 2,500 people. It's a small town. It's really a village. But it's the biggest town for miles around.
Biggest town?
For miles around. See, now you just used a very good strategy. You repeated what you thought you heard, and you got it right. And then I knew you needed to hear the second part. That's a very good strategy for negotiating meaning.
I'm sorry, I have a question to you, Professor Marston.
Yeah.
You went to elementary school in Eastern Oregon.
Yes.
Is the Oregon not Eastern, only Oregon? I don't know.
Yes. Oregon is a large state in the Northwest. Oregon is the state to the north of California. It's also bordered by Idaho.
Idaho?
That's another state.
Idaho. It's a state.
I was born on the border between Idaho, on the Idaho border in Oregon. I was born on the Idaho border in Oregon. And when I was in elementary school, my father owned the weekly newspaper in this small town.
And what is the name of this small town?
It's called John Day, Oregon. You can find it on the map. It's very small.
Of course, I can find it on the map. The map is, I am trying to read Ken Kesey, One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest.
Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes, and I read that, I have read that Ken Kesey was from Oregon.
That's right. And the institution that he writes about was also in Oregon, the State Mental Hospital. That's in Salem, the capital.
And all the events of this novel have happened in Oregon.
Yes. And of course, he cannot say all these events were true and happened to me, because then he might be sued.
I don't get too many from your speech.
Okay. He might be taken to court if he said he was not writing, if he was writing the truth about what happened to him. He has to call it fiction.
He might be to court. He said he was writing it.
He might be taken to court if he said, I'm writing about what actually happened to me. He can't say that, because they'll say, he's a crazy man. He can't say those things about us. So in this case, he always has to have that protection of calling it fiction. But he has said over and over again that it at least was based on his experience.
And he worked in a mental hospital, I read. Is this hospital in Oregon?
Yes. The hospital is in the capital, Salem. I lived for 2 years right across the street. From this hospital when I was a kid. I could see it from my living room window.
Have you ever seen Kizzy?
No.
He it's irrelevant. And do you read something except this One Flew?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I read a long time ago, but I've never read
something else of his from his books.
No, I have not.
In Russia was published only One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and nothing else. It's interesting. Maybe his other novels or narratives are interesting too. I don't know. I never heard about his creatures. Only about One Flew. With some years ago, in 90s or no, in 80s, we saw the film.
Yes.
Nicholson.
Yes. That was a great movie.
No, I don't like it. I don't like Nicholson.
Well, he never plays nice people.
Sorry? He never
plays characters who are pleasant.
No, I can't understand without your writing.
So it's lucky that no one else is here and I can indulge you today. Never plays characters who are nice.
Plays. But his McMurphy is very nice character. Nicholson, in my mind, he's not very nice.
Yeah.
It isn't his role. I think. Furthermore, I heard that Kizzy don't like him in this role, in this casting.
So I wonder who should have played the role. Do you have any ideas? Who would have played that role?
I don't know. I don't know American actors, but I don't know. McMurphy was Alan's man, and Nicholson is not Alan's man. Irishman.
Oh, Irishman. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He is not told too much for McMurphy.
Well, I know I have someone in mind who is active now. If they did a remake of the movie, I can't think of Oh, his name is Jason. Oh, I'm not sure I have the spelling right. Jason O'Mara. He's a very good television actor. He is Irish. He is also a very fine actor, and we've seen him in 2 or 3 different TV shows, but I don't know if he actually would make a movie.
I have never heard about him, and I can't to imagine him.
Yeah. No,
but he's Omer, so maybe he's Irish.
Oh yes,
Irishman.
He's Irish. I have seen him interviewed. And I've heard him when he was not playing an American, and he's very good at it.
Mm.
But he does have this Irish accent. Oh, let's see. I was looking. Oh, there are lots of books about Ken Kesey. I'm looking on Amazon, but I don't see.
And anyway, I have another question.
Yeah.
Our home task for this week was a list of I forgot how it's named. Billboard list, maybe.
It's Beloit is the name of the place. Mindset.
And the last point was the Sistine Chapel ceiling has been bright, and I don't remember exactly how it sounds. What does it mean? Maybe you remember.
Yes, I'm just looking to bring up the list so I can see exactly what it says. The Sistine Chapel ceiling, the roof, has always been brighter and cleaner.
Brighter and cleaner than what?
Than it was for so many years. When I visited the Sistine Chapel, it was being restored. And it was sooty. It was covered with soot from the smoke. And and so it needed to be cleaned, and now they say it is as bright as when it was painted. So in their experience, they have no memory of it being dark and dull.
I don't hear about this restoring. I am maybe from this generation of 94.
Yes.
I think that Sistine Chapel have ever been bright and clean.
Yes.
I'm very young man.
Well, we will come back to this assignment next week, and we will hope. Let's see. Tomorrow's the 1st. Maybe we will catch more people. Let's see. And we can have a better discussion about it. I am actually looking forward to having the contrast between my experience and your experience and those of the younger students, because I think it will give more depth to our discussion. And so maybe, let me just finish what I was going to do. I'm checking my calendar. But next week is Tuesday is on the 7th, and that's beginning the next holiday period. So we may actually have a small class again next week. My earlier class, the one with the most of the students, was fairly small today as well. So anyway, one of the things about the assignments that came from the list is we want to talk about change. One of the things that I think is really interesting is how much we have seen change in the last 10 years. 10 years ago, you and I could not have a conversation like this.
You see, I try to imagine what changes from during these 10 years. It's really a change. It's I don't know. It's change. There are many things that change very much, but there was a question in our appointment. Which things, I don't know, I don't remember exactly how it was formulated. Something about what thing you didn't have 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe so. And I count that everything we have 10 years ago, and computer, and mobile phone, and and a car, and there was old-fashioned model, but we have these things. So the technology changes very much. Of course, the mobile phone, maybe Siemens 35 was ancient thing, but it was phone. maybe maybe computer was huge and uncomfortable, but it was computer. There was not fast internet 10 years ago.
Yes. So think about it. Think smaller about it. Think what could you do with the mobile phone that you had then as opposed to the mobile phone that you have today?
You see, I only phone with my mobile phone. I only call to my friends, I don't know, I only calls with it. But today sometimes I can take pictures with a phone, and sometimes I used it for receive internet supply. But the main task is to call to somebody.
Yes. So for me, I have a smartphone. My husband, on the other hand, had a smartphone, but he uses it so little that he got rid of it. He doesn't have it anymore because he only wants something that he can use to make telephone calls. And that works for him. But for me, let's see, this starts for me because I don't wear a watch. And so I use my phone to tell time.
Sorry, use my phone?
To tell time.
To tell
time. I use my phone to tell time.
Time?
Yeah. I don't wear a watch. So it's my alarm clock. I set an alarm, and my phone wakes me up in the morning. It's my reminders. So I get a signal when it's 15 minutes before class. I talk on the phone with my daughter in Texas every morning. I keep recipes that I make often on my phone. Let's see. I track my food and exercise.
Sorry, Professor Marston. I keep recipes that I make often on my phone.
Yeah, so
keep
for
recipes
example,
that
I make a special kind of
recipes. What does mean recipes?
Recipe. A recipe is a formula for cooking.
I can't relate. I keep recipes that I make. Okay,
so
thanks.
I make a special kind of pancakes. The recipe or formula is my own. It's not from a book. I refer to that recipe every time I make it.
Are you investigator of this recipe?
Yes. I develop it. And I keep it on my phone. I text using my phone. I send text messages.
Short message service.
Yes. Most of the people that I know who are younger than 25 would rather get a text message than talk on the phone. They don't like to talk on the phone if they can send a text.
I think it is because it's cheapest way.
Yes, that's part of it. But also, even those who don't care about how expensive it is would rather text, because I have even had 2 students sitting next to each other in the same room, sending text messages because they didn't want to interrupt the speaker by talking. So now we've only got through breakfast for me. These are things that I would all do by the time breakfast is finished in the morning. And so the kind of smartphone that I have takes dictation.
No. Could you repeat this, please?
My smartphone takes dictation. I can speak and
takes dictation.
My phone writes text.
No. I can speak and my phone. Okay.
So that means if I want to send a message to someone, I can pick up my phone and press the button, and my phone asks, "How can I help you?" It speaks a voice.
And you send voice messages?
No. I speak what the message is. I'll say, I want to email Konstantin. And so it comes up with a list of Konstantin, the people named Konstantin in my address book on my phone. And it'll say, I found 3 Konstantins. Please choose the right one. So I click on it, and then my phone says to me, speaking out loud, "What do you want to say?" And so then I'll say, "What do you want to say?" and then I dictate. And it shows me the text that I have spoken. And if I need to change something, I can change it right there on my phone, and then it will say, are you ready to send this message? Still speaking to me, and I click confirm or yes. I have a friend and former colleague who lives in Kiev in Ukraine, and I talk to her using a video thing called FaceTime.
A video?
It's a video feature that uses wireless. So I can see her sitting in her apartment in Kiev, and she can see me perfectly well here. It's like we do, only we don't need a computer. So this is just my phone, and I use it for more than this.
Sorry?
I have more uses for my phone than I have described. My husband has an iPad Mini. It's a small tablet computer. He takes it with him everywhere. He doesn't need the phone. He likes to read the news and watch videos on it. We can watch TV on it if we want. We don't watch much TV, but we could do that if we want. My daughter's husband travels for his work, and he has an iPad that he always gets movies so that he can watch movies while he's on the airplane. Now,
sorry, is it allowed to turn the iPad or phones in airplane? I forgot it. Maybe.
Mostly, that's changing now. Some planes allow you to use a Wi-Fi connection, but you have to pay for it. But not on takeoff and landing.
I don't remember exactly. Maybe at first, maybe first the hostess noticed that she asked us to turn out our phones, and maybe
turn them off.
Maybe later she allowed to turn it. I don't remember.
Yes, you turn it off and on. So let's see. While I'm thinking of it, and this is off the subject, but I can't remember the name of the person that you talked about at the beginning of the semester who was an explorer, and you gave a presentation about him, and you said that you've been some of the places. One of the places was Kamchatka. Can you tell me the name of that person?
The name of sorry.
We were talking about
my role model.
Yes.
Федор Конюхов.
Could you put his name in
just
the
a minute.
Again? Fyodor. But I don't know the last name.
No.
Now I'm making you write in English.
I
hope.
Send to everyone.
And how do you pronounce his last name? Konyukov?
Sorry?
How do you pronounce his last name?
Федор Конюхов.
Konyukov, okay.
Конюхов.
Yes, Konyukov. No, not there yet, am I?
It's close to proper pronunciation.
Say it again. Could you please say it again?
Федор Конюхов. I don't.
Konyukov.
Maybe not. Maybe Konyu. Konyu. KH. I don't know. It.
Konyukov.
KH, I mean that it sounds as H, Hof.
The second part. I got it.
Konюхов.
Ooh, that's subtle. Okay, so I will work on that. Thank you. I needed to have that place to start, and we have run out of time.
Sorry?
And it is time to go. We have run out of time. We have to stop now.
No, I don't. Please repeat it.
It's time to stop.
It's time to
And I have really enjoyed talking today. This has been, I'm always happy to see you, and I am I'm very pleased with your level of expertise.
Level of
expertise.
Expertise.
Okay, look at the word.
Thank you very much, but it isn't a real thing. My level of expertise is. I wish I have a level.
Your command of the language is very good. And today you have gotten an opportunity to practice something.
Oh, yes, of course.
Listening and putting the way the language sounds with the way it's written is a big help.
Yes, today is a very lucky day for me. I steal some time from my friends, my classmates.
Well, maybe they're out partying.
Maybe there are.
Maybe they're out partying.
What's what? I don't understand.
Partying.
Maybe
Having
they
a
are.
party. Celebrating.
Ah, maybe so. Yes.
So I'm going to make a suggestion for you because I think it would help you a lot if you could get a recording of something that you're going to read. Look at audible.com. They sell audio recordings of books. And I don't know because I haven't looked, but if you can have a paper copy of your book and at the same time listen to it, I listen to books on my phone, then you can hear how the words are pronounced while you're looking at how they look. There are other ways to get this practice, but
Sorry?
and there are other ways to get the practice of making the connection between how words sound and how they look. There are other things that you could find on the internet, but that's the one that I thought of today. So, because reading a book like Ken Kesey, that's a hard book.
You see, I have read it in Russian, and I know what about this book. And I found only definite words in vocabulary or in dictionary, and the sense of the novel I know very well.
This would be a perfect one. And so they shouldn't, I don't know, but I think you should be able to pay using PayPal. And let me think. I was gonna, just let me look real quick and see if I can. Find. Okay, going to Audible. And now I'm going to search for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Yes. Okay. There are two different, oh no, there's one recording of the whole thing. There is, if you get an ebook, I don't know if you can take an ebook on your phone or your computer, it has something called WhisperSync for voice. And let's see if I can copy this off. Put it in the chat. this is at audible.com. Did I get that? Yes. Okay. So it has this thing called WhisperSync. Do you see that's the last thing I pasted in? It is possible to switch between the voice, the audio recording, and the text. I have not done this before, but if you could get this to work for you, it would be really good. And so that's one thing I would suggest. And the other thing, and we have to stop here, is that I think you should know about. If I go to, on my computer, if I get a new page, and I type in a word, like Audible, say. Oh no, that didn't do what I wanted. Okay. So, I'm going to try again here. If I bring up Google and type in Audible, then that's probably useful for you to do anyway. Go to Google and type in Audible, and you'll see something about it. I see what I wanted. The other thing I was trying to tell you about, when I went to Google and typed in Audible, it has Merriam-Webster Online. That's a dictionary. And I would recommend you're using that because you can go there and hear it spoken. And it pronounces the word for you as well as giving a definition and use of it in a sentence. So that would be a good tool if you don't know about it already. So there's some things to try. I so enjoy working with you, and I look forward to doing this again next week.
I have not question, but I want to ask you. Could you send our appointment more early? I have not time enough to prepare it when you sent it in Sunday or in.
Yes.
Yes, our assignment. Yes.
I will try. Yes, I will
if
try.
If it's possible.
Yes, and I have usually it's Professor Shestakov that sends it. And this week, since I was the only one who was going to be able to come, we discussed we discussed planning it right up until Professor Shestakov sent it. But I agree, I would like to send it out on Wednesday. But for next week, it's the same as this week. So you can go back and work on that.
I think next week we don't gather many people in our class.
So maybe we'll do this again. I don't mind at all.
Maybe we speak as tonight, like tonight.
Sure. And that's fine with me. I enjoy it. I've had a wonderful time, and I think I'll look forward to next week in any case.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. I was very glad to have a great practice tonight.
Well, good. I think you did very well. You should be proud of yourself. And I'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay. Goodbye.